Mr. Law, thank you again for speaking with us. Carolyn Murray and Brendan Clark here at Channel 2. We appreciate you providing more insight earlier about the situation with the tarp that's on the Don Holt. Have you been able to get any more information about what's happening and how this situation is going to be resolved?
The people are en route. We're having trouble getting the contract or the people to remove the tarp up there because of all the traffic. But we have got a lane open now, from the last what I've been told, and they are en route, so it ought to be removed. I don't want to say shortly, but as quickly as they can get up there and get it out of the roadway.
They give any indication, Mr. Law, of how long that would take? Did they say hours?
No,
possibly?
they're close. No, not hours.
Okay.
I just talked to an engineer, and he talked to the contractor, and they having a problem getting up there. Like I said, because of all the traffic, but they are close.
I don't think anyone's going to forget the day the tarp came down on the Don Holt Bridge. This is certainly a lesson that we will all learn. As you just kind of generally and anecdotally assess the situation, Mr. Law, what are some things that you're thinking about right now, being an engineer and understanding the workings and mechanics of these kinds of situations?
Well, first and foremost, there are some vehicles. The last information I got, there are some vehicles underneath the tarp. We need. Hold on one second.
Yes, sir.
So, give me that.
Okay. All right. So we are again speaking with Mr. Law.
EMS is on site, and they are getting those people out as quickly as they can. And then, of course, we will look at this, see what the cause was, see how we can prevent it in the future. This should not happen. Every engineer that I've talked to since we've been in this predicament has said that. They have safety procedures that should be followed, and this should not happen.
You sound angry, Mr. Law.
I'm in some bad weather, so if I lose.
I'm sorry. Okay, you sound like you're upset. You're a bit angry about this.
No, I'm not. It's just frustrating.
I'm sure it is frustrating.
I know how it is sitting in traffic, and I feel for those people. And I hate it's our fault, but it is.
Mr. Law, speaking of those people sitting in traffic, all kinds of situations, is there any possibility of perhaps school buses being put up on the bridge using that emergency lane, if there is one available, to get people off the bridge? Is that a possibility?
I don't think so. I have never heard that discussed. You're talking about creating a dangerous situation if you put buses up there.
Sure.
And put them in the emergency lanes. I've never heard that discussed. I wouldn't think that would be an option.
I guess the best advice would be, if you don't have to be on the roadways here in this area, anywhere in the Low Country, because this is causing problems everywhere, just stay at home and don't get out on the roads.
That's what we would ask the public to do, and again, I mean, we're keeping the roadways open, traffic moving is what our business is, and this is not good.
It most certainly is not, but we know that you're working very hard to try to resolve this as quickly as possible. Again, Mr. Law, can you give us an idea, if we can backtrack a little bit just to paint the scene again? Do you know about what time the tarp fell? Was it because the wind just lifted it and it fell? And do you also have an idea of how many cars might be under that tarp?
I don't know how many cars. I don't want to talk about the vehicles that may be under the tarp, okay? Because I don't know that firsthand information, and I've got mixed information. But the first call I got was probably, and I'm somewhat guessing here, was probably about 4:45, something good. Might have been closer to 5 o'clock. I don't know. I don't know exactly what time the call came in. I'll have all of that information in a couple hours when we do a preliminary report on, about everything that happened and what's being done, but I don't have it right now.
Now, are we going to wait for this company to come on up and take their netting down, or is there any plan in place to have people to start trying to do it right now? You see a lot of people on that bridge, from emergency responders and people like that. Would they try and start the process, or because that company said they're coming, we're going to wait for them to get their own netting up?
No, we have people en route. I mean, we are going to assist the contractor. It's his project. It's his net, so I mean, he's the responsible party. But no, we won't wait. If we can get somebody up there to remove the netting, we will do it as quickly as possible. But we want to stay out of emergency personnel's way right now to get whoever may be hurt, or hopefully no one is hurt. But anyway, they're looking at that situation.
Yeah, we certainly pray that no one was hurt in this situation. We could only imagine how frightening and, I mean, absolutely terrifying it might be to be driving across the bridge when this huge piece of netting suddenly comes down. And such a busy time of afternoon. You said around 4:45, 5 o'clock, somewhere around that area. One of the busiest times to be on the Don Holt, right?
You couldn't have picked the worst time.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, right now was
absolutely the worst time, other than 8 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly.
I mean, those are prime time for us, and we want all of our contractors that are doing road work out of the work area or out of the roadway at those peak times. I mean, those are the hours that we're really concerned about, and then to have this happen right in the middle of the rush hour. It's one of those things that nobody's got any control over. Other than we will look to make sure that all of the safety precautions were followed. The letter of the law as far as the contract and what the contractor should have done to foresee something like this happening and to prevent something like this happening, I can assure you all of that will be looked at just as soon as we get traffic moving and get, hopefully, the people out from under the top.
All right. James Law, the South Carolina Department of Transportation, speaking with us for the second time, providing more information and insight, though we know all of this is preliminary and you're still getting a better idea of what happened just a little more than an hour ago as that netting that had been covering the Don Holt Bridge came crashing down, possibly on some cars, but certainly covering the bridge. Mr. Law, we appreciate your time and adding more information to this conversation.